you hate fun? Do you hate whimsy? Do you hate joy? Do you hate chickens? Hello, welcome back to my channel Knits by Mandy. My name is Amanda and I'm so excited to be sharing a summer knitting inspiration video with you all. I haven't made a seasonal knitting inspiration video in a while, and I kind of miss the format of selecting some of my favorite patterns, yarns, and colors, things that have been inspiring me this season, and sharing, kind of the ideal state of things that I want to make. I definitely won't get to all of these, but it's really fun, I think, just to come up with a list, see what patterns are out there, see what designers have been doing, and what everyone else is making in the knitting community. Some of you know I've been busy continuing my studies for my 9 to 5. This summer, I'd really like to put more time into my hobbies like knitting and creating YouTube videos. And that's why I'm so excited that the sponsor of today's video is Skillshare. I've been taking a learning path on Skillshare, which is a collection of 6 classes about how to grow your first YouTube channel. This specific learning path covers a lot of topics that would be helpful if you're also interested in starting YouTube, like how to grow your channel, how to organize your channel using Notion, how to script, how to edit, and these are all things that I think would have been really helpful when I started this channel a few years ago, but it's never too late, I think, to discover new things that you want to learn about your hobbies or things that you want to improve. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives. I'm currently in a learning path for how to grow a YouTube channel, thousands of expert-led classes in film, illustration, freelance, and what you might not also know, for all my knitters, makers out there, there's also so many classes to discover in fiber arts, whether it's knitting, crochet, sewing, or embroidery. Another thing I love about Skillshare is that they have a learn by doing approach. Have a project that you can share with the community to get feedback. Especially as knitters, I think we all know the gratification it comes from having a project or a finished object, as it were, after you either follow a pattern or take a class or learn something new. So I'm very excited to share that the first 500 people to use the link in my description will get a free month trial to Skillshare, so you can get started learning today. Thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Let's get into the video. I have 3 main buckets that I've separated items by: wearable things that are a fingering weight, wearable things that are a DK weight, and then just kind of extra miscellaneous items. These are also projects I've talked about before, so you may know what I'm going to talk about. But I want to get started talking about clothes, and specifically fingering weight camisoles. I have had kind of a battle over the past few springs as I'm learning how to knit with this tension in between wanting to make a lot of nice tank tops at once, but sometimes DK things are too heavy. I want to make a fingering weight cami, but I make it in wool, and then that's too hot. And I'm just like kind of constantly on this search and journey for like the perfect summer camisole and tank top. I feel like I've gotten pretty close. I self-drafted a pattern last year, which was in a DK weight cotton, but this year I would like to make just one really nice fingering weight cami that I like. I find knitting things in fingering weight to be a bit daunting. I know some people just do it all the time and that's their jam. Honestly, I attribute this to having worked on camisole number 5 2 summers ago while I was like deep in the throes of COVID, and I think I have a pretty negative association to making things in fingering weight yarn. That being said, I'm open to trying, I'm open to learning with some of these patterns. The first pattern that I have is the Lima top by Pernille Larson, and it's done for Knitting for Olive, which is one of my favorites here at Knits by Mandy. And this is a fingering weight camisole. It looks very bra friendly, and this tank top is worked from the bottom up. I would say this is the one thing that gives me a little pause. Bottom up tank tops, I don't necessarily know why we're making bottom up tank tops. I guess it's so you can adjust the length of the straps, but I find a little difficulty with them. So we'll see about this pattern. What drew me to this pattern was that there is some light dotting and striping done in color work, which one I think has a very nice look to the pattern. The sample is made in blue and white, which gives a very Grecian Mediterranean feel to the tank top, but I think this could be really fun in a wide array of colors like pink and white or yellow and white. I'm just feeling a lot of summery vibes from the color work in general, but then I also think it makes the knitting experience more interesting than just making a fingering weight tube for God knows how long that takes to knit. So I do very much like the design of this top. The construction gives me a bit of pause. I think it's not my preferred way to create summer garments, but let me know what you think. I know a lot of popular patterns in the summer are bottom up, and if you have just remember that the top I'm wearing right now is a bottom up design, and I actually didn't mind it. So this is the My Little Secret crop by Jessie Made, and it does work sometimes. So I take it back. I still kind of prefer to do a top down. I'm just more comfortable there, but I have made bottom up things in the past. Really enjoying the color work and the look of this top. It's really been kind of sticking out in my mind for the past few weeks or so. I would have to get some yarn for this, but it is something that I really am thinking about. The next top that I've been thinking about is the Fresca top by Rory Yamamaro. This is also a fingering weight tank top that's knit top down, an open check stitch. It has these kind of open breezy squares throughout the boxy shape. A lot of things that I like about this tank top. One, the open stitch and the boxy fit add for a lot of ventilation and airflow, and I live in a very warm area in the summers. Two, I like, once again, that having that extra element of either texture or color work will just make it a little bit more exciting to knit. And three, I like that it's top down. The sample was made on 3.5mm needles in Cardiff cashmere, and I think if I knit this in a silk or something similar like a linen, it could be really easy, breezy, flowy, and perfect for the summer. I also really like this color that it's knit in. It kind of reminds me of like the fennel colorway from Knitting for Olive. I don't know if this is my color, but I love the idea of kind of warmer tones in the summer. Groundbreaking, I know. Or anything really in this yellow green family, I think has just been very trendy lately, kind of in our mind's eye, and I really appreciate it. I could see this tank top going really well with all of the different summer bottoms I like to wear, like linen shorts and pants and jean shorts as well. I think this would be also fun if you lived in a more beachy area as kind of like a cover up or like a pool beach top. I don't go to the beach that often, even though I love it, but I feel like this would be such a beachy vibe if you wanted to do that. Really like this next one because I have the exact yarn in my stash that's used for the sample, and that is Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in Olive. And if you have been with me for at least a year, you know that I tried and failed to make a all silk dress last summer. I still have a ton of Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in my stash, and this uses this exact yarn for this pattern. It is the Tie Side Tank by Eleanor Alice. Another textural knit, which I love, that's knit in a basket weave stitch. Also an adaptation on a style that I think has been very popular, which is where you see shirts that are panels that are connected by bows or ties at the side. What I really like about this top is that the armpit portion from like here to here is connected, and it almost has this overlapping V look. I guess it's more like this. That looks really nice on the tank top, and it just like gives you that little bit extra more modesty, but you still get what's really important, the ventilation. I think for this reason, this top could also be bra friendly, depending on what kind of bra that you wear and probably the size of your chest as well. Like both the tie detail and the texture of this top, and it definitely gets extra bonus points because I already have the exact yarn in stash. I think this could be a really good use of the Pure Silk Olive, and I've been, excited to put this to use after it's been sitting idle in my stash for almost over a year. This next tank top is a more recent release, and I'm really excited about it. I already bought the pattern even though I don't have yarn in stash for it, and this is the Mixed Rib Cami by Florence Miller. I feel like a très chic knit cami for the summer. Pattern is written for knitting it in Knitting for Olive Merino, which that's not in my journey anymore in life to be knitting wool camis in the summer. Maybe it is for you in your climate and where you live. Definitely think I'd opt to make this in a cotton merino since it does have some negative ease. You still want it to have that little bit of memory but not be so overheating when you wear it. For example, the top that I'm wearing right now, this is knit in with negative ease and in the cotton merino. Worn this like once or twice since washing, but once you wash it, I find that the yarn kind of remembers who it is again, and you can get it back to that shape, or you can always throw something in a dryer very quickly. Anyway, this tank top is just, again, very chic. It has a boat neck and it's knit in both, I believe, big rib and twisted rib. And overall gives this just very pleasing effect. Once again, I love the texture and I also like the silhouette. I think this is something that can veer a little bit more professional, but you could dress it up and down, especially depending on the color you picked. This could be really killer in all black, but also really fun in like a bright poppy color like hot pink or a poppy red. I don't know what color yet I want to make this tank top. I do already have a black cami kind of in my knitting hand knit closet arsenal, so maybe a bright color is calling to me for this one. I just love how Florence has also styled this in the project pictures. It's just chic. That's the only word I have for it. It's very chic. I'm into it. The next top that I have is I think the only t-shirt on this list, and this is the Batty Tee by Josephine and Carlotta HW. This is a top-down shirt knit in a broken rib stitch, which I love. I made a top in it last summer and it just gives like the best texture. I love the feeling of it. I love the drape of it, and I think could look really sweet in this silhouette. You can choose to do either a scoop neck or a square neck, and again would just be great with all your summer pants, skirts, and shorts. This one, it suggests either Sanascarn Tin Line, which I've used Line, and the Teak Line, which is the thick one. Also, pure silk is an option, as well as a cotton as suggested yarns. I really like that. It veers more towards a plant-based yarn, just for gauge and figuring that out, and I tend to obviously select more plant-based fibers in the summer months. Also just really like the drape of this and think it'd be a really comfortable summer wear. I usually don't have a lot of tees on my summer list just because this area gets really sweaty and like there's a lot of friction there in the summer that I just never really want to put a knit up to that test. But if I was going to do that, I would knit this t-shirt. I think it would be a great transitional piece as well. Now, I'm pretty proud of myself because I only really narrowed what I want to do in DK, if I do DK, into 2 tops. So for the past 2 summers, I have failed to make a top with a marling effect in this white and brown yarn that I bought a long time ago. I think it's Drops Lima. I saw this top by Sari Nordland. This is the Sierra top, and I thought maybe if I want to do it, this would be a good top to try it with. It is knit with 2 yarns held together to make a DK weight. This is another seamless top-down tank top with a pretty easy, like simple construction. It's a scoop neck tank top. It's nothing too crazy or out there, but a good project to have nonetheless in your arsenal. Also just really enjoy Sari Nordland's patterns. I think they're very clearly written, and so to be honest, this might be something that I try to make myself if I wanted to kind of go the DK route. I think it's a really kind of easy and fun exercise to self-draft shirts at that weight, especially without sleeves and stuff like that. But if I didn't want to do that, which you never know, I would definitely opt for something like this. The last top that I have on my DK list, the second and last, is the gorgeous top by Joanna Gersich. I've seen, I think specifically Aro Knits and Pearls make this a few summers ago, and it is a V-neck tank top with a graphic bow detail on the shoulder, and this one also gets a spot because it is made in a yarn that I already have in stash, and again it is the Knitting for All of Pure Silk. This time it is held double. I also think the Sierra top is made in Knitting for All of Pure Silk, so I could just make like 1,000 army green tops and change out of them all summer. Wouldn't that be so fun and very uniform? I'm not going to do that. But if I were gonna make a few tops, this might be one of them, and I really like the fun bow detail. I like that it's cropped. You can really make any top cropped, but I like that design in and of itself, and the bows just add a really fun feminine flair, kind of a graphic detail to an otherwise plain tank top. This pattern is a few years old, but bows have really like been having a moment, especially this year. And so if you wanna like do a little coquette top, this might be a really fun feminine one to do. You could make it really frilly and feminine in a like pink or purple, or kind of ground it in maybe a more neutral color like an olive or a white or a cream. So those are my clothing items that I want to make. The next two, I actually kind of have more concrete plans are, because one is a whip and the other one you've seen me talk about. And the other one I think I finally completed collecting yarn for. So the first one is a very popular pattern that I've seen around, and it is the emotional support chicken. I know. I've read a lot of hate of this pattern online, and to that I say, do you hate fun? Do you hate whimsy? Do you hate joy? Do you hate chickens? I'm knitting this chicken as a gift. My cousin recently had a baby. I knit a blanket for him in the fall, or in the winter, I guess. And now that he's here and he's so cute and precious and amazing, a nickname that he has, gotten along the way is Chicken. So I have to make chicken a chicken. Duh. I'm knitting this up in the Two of Wands line brand yarn collab, which I believe is called Hue and Me, in kind of their neutral white color and this blue. I bought this yarn, I guess it was last summer, to make these kind of like Matisse inspired wall hangings. I do have one in my office, but I never kind of like did anything with them. And it turns out this acrylic yarn is so soft. It almost has like a brushed feel to it. It doesn't have that squeaky, shiny acrylic feeling. As you can see, I feel like it doesn't look shiny like a lot of acrylic yarns do. And I think it would be great for a baby toy, or just like anything baby related, soft, squishy, blanket, whatever. I'd recommend this yarn for that. And this pattern is, I think, a really great pattern if you're like an adventurous beginner and you want to like kind of knock out a bunch of skills at once and try new things at once, because you do things like short rows. I've already done a crochet join, you pick up stitches, you change colors, but it's all done in garter stitch, which I think makes all of these skills very approachable. I know that like purling can be very intimidating to new knitters, and in the end you have a chicken, so that's pretty cool. Overall, I've enjoyed this pattern, and if a lot of people are knitting something, there might be a reason why, and it's just fun and cute, and I'm very excited to have this as a little gift for my perfect little baby cousin. The last thing that I have to share is something that I've been thinking about for a long time and planning for, and that's this Stella Quilt blanket by Laura Penrose. So I made the Sweet Shop blanket by Laura back in the winter for my cousin, and I started buying some minis, thinking I was also going to make a Sweet Shop blanket. But then I saw that she released the Stella Quilt and was thinking of making it into a blanket pattern, and I said, hold the phone, that's for me. Anticipating the release of this pattern, I still don't have everything that I need. I don't have the main color, but I have all of the contrasting colors in a row. I started organizing them this week, and I'm really, really loving how the mix of really bright colors and more tonal colors is coming out. It's mostly a collection of Sorella minis. I believe it has the fall tonals, the spring tonals, the book collection, and then I also have 4 minis in there from Yarn Addict Dyers. The name is fully escaping me right now, and then also the True Colors collection by Sunday Fiber Co., who they're also creating the True Colors collection on Summer Fibers, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to mix those in with some other yarns that I have, and I'm very excited to kind of get to work this summer and work on this blanket. It definitely won't just take the summer, but I will definitely be getting to work once it comes out. Let me know if you have a recommendation for where a girl could get her hands on either DK or fingering weight plain superwash for a decent price. I'm thinking I'll go with Knit Picks, but if you have one specifically that you like, or if there's like a distributor I can buy from, I'm not even sure, let me know, because that's what I'll be doing for, I think, the contrasting color, definitely using a white or a cream. I just love the feel of this blanket. I love the idea of knitting a quilt and like referencing 2 types of fiber art, both that are very impressive and just like very cool to me in one. And I love the idea also of having this heirloom piece. I'm getting married next year, and like having this like family blanket I think is fun. It's not like for my wedding, but you know what I mean. It's like something to, I think, that to work on through like the engagement and getting married as well. That's not necessarily like a bridal piece that I have to wear, is something that I like, and being able to have that blanket to maybe share with my kids one day, or my nephews, or my nieces, or my little baby cousins. So anyway, that is all I have for summer inspiration. I would love to know what you all are thinking about working on this summer. If you liked anything from my list, or if you have anything that you'd like to share. And thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Like I said, the first 500 people to click the link in the description get a free trial. So try it out, see if you like it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!